Hey everybody, welcome to the Come Off Conqueror show. I'm your host Bonnie, and tonight I'm joined with my beautiful, amazing, and hilarious friend Crystal.
Thank you.
Crystal, we've had a little bit of technical difficulties, so if things are a little wobbly on her end, that's why. But it's all right. We're here, and you know what? The adversary can't stop us from doing this show. Even though
That's
he's going
right.
to try his darndest, he's not winning tonight. So,
I'm the kick and screaming type.
oh, we're both too stubborn to let him win. So,
That's right.
let me tell you a little bit about Crystal and why she's joined us tonight. I'm super excited to have her on the show. She was one of the original people I wanted on the show when I started it over a year ago. But life is life and things happen. And for whatever reason, she hasn't joined us until now. Not her fault, mine entirely. So Crystal is amazing, you guys. She is a Utah. Actually, are you from Utah? Where is Bridger Valley? Where you in your bio you say you're from?
Wyoming.
Oh, it is Wyoming. Cool. But now she lives in Brigham City, which is gorgeous for those of you who don't know, known for their peaches. She's been married for 42 years to her amazing prince, who is a true Wyoming cowboy. And he is. He's got like the greatest handlebar mustache ever. She is a mom of 3 wonderful sons and 2 beautiful daughter-in-laws, and the grandmother of 5 adorable grandkiddos. I love this part of her bio. She says that as a young girl, she was innately aware of color and energy all around her, especially when out in nature. She didn't understand what all that movement was about. She just knew she loved it. And as time went on, she grew to develop her skills and connect with the Holy Spirit to read color and energy. And she specifically loves the work of clearing and balancing chakras, which is something that she will explain more tonight. And hopefully, she'll also explain all about color and movement and what all of that means, because that is something that I love to learn more about. And Crystal is an expert in that area. She is the founder of Awaken Your Heart Transitional Therapies. She's been mentored by some amazing teachers and blessed to find powerful tools that align with high technology, science, frequency, and energy to help discover energetic imbalances through the chakra centers and to quickly clear and align these energy centers. Discovering the blocks or imbalances that help keep us from our heart's desires and opening the doors to becoming aware of how this kind of energy shift will define the steps needed to live more empowered and a more joyful life. So, all of that sounds pretty cool, right? Being a show where we talk primarily about healing journeys and overcoming abuse and trauma. And what better person to come and talk to us than someone who deals with moving negative energy and negative thoughts and negative emotions and all that stuff out of our bodies. Sometimes it gets stuck there and we just need a little bit of help to get it out. And I have been eyewitness to Crystal's amazing healing tools and her gifts when she helped one of my good friends. And wow, it was a powerful experience. And Crystal has also helped me with some mini sessions. And I just adore this woman. So while you are clicking subscribe and liking and sharing this video, let's run our intro and we'll get to meet Crystal. All right, Crystal, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, thank you. I know it's been a while. Like, I can't believe it's taken us this long to actually get you on the show. Sorry about that. I was hoping you could explain a little bit. Let's go back to your bio where you talk about as a little girl, you saw light surrounding things in nature and colors and stuff like that. And can you explain more about what that is and how that connects to us as humans?
Oh, yes. So fun. So fun. Okay. So As a young girl, I I I realized, I guess, I didn't realize it when I was little. I realized you realize things when you're older. When you're little, you don't really know that everybody else is not the same or you're the one that's different. And so I would see light, flashes of light. And sometimes those flashes of light would even take on shape or form. And I would think that somebody was there, and I would turn and look, and I would see this shape, this person, many times familiar, but maybe I didn't really know who they were, but they felt familiar. And then they would go away, probably like just in that second type of a thing. So I would say, did you see that guy and that little girl right there? And where? Everyone's like, where? And I'm like, they were just right there. And one night I remember very vividly, I called out to my mom, and we were not supposed to go into her room to get us. We were just to get her. We were supposed to just call out to her, and she would come to the door to find out what we needed. And this one particular night, I called out to her, and she would come and put her robe on, and then she would come into the room, and I could see her in probably, how there's light in a room that comes from a window or whatever. And she stood, I saw her put on her robe, and um but she didn't come into the room, and then all of a sudden she floated up the stairs. And I thought, well, that's interesting, how could mom float, type of thing. And mom said she never came to see me, so she never heard me. It wasn't her, it was the essence of her or whatever. And and this was, here's the funny part, and some of you may or may not know of the ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Mm-mm.
And so it's a really old Disney show, and was about this shaky old guy who goes into this haunted house, and there's this organ that plays. And so it was a ghost, right? And so I started associating, because on TV or in the movies they portrayed ghosts as those light images, like a
Oh,
white
yeah.
outline of somebody. So I thought, am I seeing ghosts? And what does that mean? But now to the colors, I would say, gosh, look at that red rose. And I would try to describe what that color was because it was so vibrant, and it felt like other people didn't see those colors. And as I got older, I realized that I actually could see color around people or around trees or around animals. And the colors didn't really have a meaning to me. I just thought that was fascinating at the time. So there's a lot of things that are happening that kind of tie into it all together. So I would see the movement of color. Okay, so have you ever been driving down a really hot road and you see these waves coming off the road? It kind of
Oh,
distorts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the way I see energy. So that's the best
Oh,
way I can describe it. It's like that. But the colors move, and it extends out away from you. So people are like, well, what color do you see around me? Well, I see all kinds of colors. Well, I didn't know why I would see all kinds of colors, and not just that you're a pink person or that you're a blue person or you're a green person. I would see all kinds of colors, and then later learned of the chakra energy centers. So the chakra energy centers are spheres of energy that are related to certain parts of your body. So, like, your throat chakra is right here, and it's a circle of energy, and it spins, and it governs the physical part of your body and the emotional part of the body. So the physical part of the throat chakra is like your throat, your neck, it goes front and back, your neck, your vocal cords, your tonsils, your tongue, your teeth, your jaw, your ears, anything that has to do with speaking or hearing the expression. So that chakra is all about expressing. So there are 7 main chakras, chakra centers in the body. There's a lot more, but people typically are aware of the 7 energy centers in the body. The root chakra, and that starts down very below in your pelvic area, and then your sacral chakra, which is below your belly button, your solar plexus, which is above your belly button, your heart chakra, which is over your heart, your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown chakra. So, with all of those energy centers, I learned that there was a color association with those. So, I didn't necessarily see, for a long time, somebody would say, "What color do you see me as?" And the only place that I could go to was the head, because I'm looking at their eyes, and I would see purple and blue, and sometimes an iridescent, almost like yellow green. So what I later learned was the crown chakra is related to the purple, which is royalty, divine color, and the third eye, which is indigo, and that's a blue. And the throat chakra is also a blue. So a lot of times I saw a lot of blue, and blue is a peacemaker. We use our voice and we listen to create peace in our lives. And so I always saw those colors but didn't understand why. It's like, everybody can't be blue. It doesn't make sense. But what I was seeing and didn't know until I was trained was that I was seeing those chakra colors in those energy centers. And the iridescent green blue is kind of that divine connection, or sometimes ancestors that are coming through. So
Wow. So do you think that I remember the first time you told me about seeing those lights and the shapes and stuff, and what a real gift to be able to see angels and to see spirits and to be able to discern them. Is that I mean, you really don't need to go into it, but is that something that you that has benefited you in your life in some way? Like, have you had um has it helped you with any healing or anything like that with helping other people?
oh yes. So interestingly enough, a little backstory on that. The um so I started talking about that movie and the ghosts, right?
Mhm.
So instead of embracing and seeing it as a gift, I actually became afraid of that. And so then I started to stifle that. It wasn't until I was in college that I was sharing some of this information with an institute teacher, and how frightened I was when I felt the presence of them. Because as I grew, you learn about Satan and the presence and
Mhm.
the evil, and the adversary and doing wrong and those types of things. And so I became frightened that this wasn't something that was for my highest good. And he said, point blank, ask them what they want. My head spinned around a couple of times, I'm sure. And I'm like, what do you mean? Ask them what they want.
You want me to
That's
talk to them?
You want
What?
me to talk to them? You're insane.
I don't want to even acknowledge that they're there.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, um, he said a prayer with me that I would be able to know. Um, I would be able to hear them and be able to know if they were good spirits or bad spirits, I guess, for a lack of a better word. So, as I started to kind of ask and be aware of all of that, it opened a lot of doors. So, especially for me. So, this is where I feel like my testimony of my Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ and the life that He lived really strengthened, because I would get those promptings for myself, of course, because I didn't really realize I had these gifts, or that I could um, be in somebody's presence and sense maybe a message that was for them. or see their ancestors that had passed on, and know it, just feel the extreme love that they had, for that person that I was with. So how it has helped me in my own healing is by my faith, and knowing that I wanted to know more and studying the scriptures more to understand what a marvelous, and I don't want to say it cliche-ish, but magical person that Jesus was when he walked on planet Earth. And magical just being, I don't know anyone who loved to the magnitude and unconditionally as he did, to the point that people were open to him. They were open to receive. They were open to be blessed. They were open to have that very strong faith. They were open to have a willingness to believe in something that they had never seen or experienced before. And what a magical wonderment to be in that presence. And so as I studied his life and I started to learn of that, I knew that I wanted to pattern my life after him. I don't ever claim that I'm the one who does the healing. I pray before ever working with someone. When I come up upon somebody who I sense the presence of their angels, their ancestors with them, I quickly say a prayer, and I listen to whether, that is right timing or not. How it blesses other people's lives is, just for instance, I was on vacation at the beginning of the month in Arizona, and I hopped in the pool. It was really cold, and I was walking back and forth, and there were two gals that were sitting there sunning, and they started talking to me. And I am a social person, but I like stay to myself a little bit. But they started just asking where I was from, and things, and there was a presence there that she was very, very strong. And so I just visited with them for a little bit to kind of get a feeling on, a barometer of what their beliefs are, and would they be open to that. And it came to a point where they were talking about uh, a friend that this vacation was centered around a friend who wasn't there with them.
Oh.
And I said, did she pass? And they said, yeah, she passed in January. So we're at the beginning of April, and she passed in January. And I said, I see the color red, and just a real feisty energy, like, get in the truck, let's go type of a thing. So, and I see a lot of party. I'm just describing. So when I start getting downloads, I see pictures, and then I have to find the words to describe what it is that I'm seeing. And it's not a message like, hey, you're loved, and they're happy on the other side type of a thing. It's proof or evidence that their presence is who they really are. And so the feedback I got just on those little things, yes, she had a red Jeep. She called the Jeep Ruby. She would drive up to the girl's house and honk the horn and say, get in the truck, we're gonna go. And she was the one who put all of the parties together. And so to say the words and to say the colors, and they both started crying because this was to celebrate her birthday, which was that day. So she came through, just keep partying, keep those connections. The connections are all we have. And so there was a very strong message, and I have new friends. But
Wow.
when I do a healing session, I draw upon that same knowledge, that same love, that I believe that those people are with our Heavenly Father and with Jesus, and that they are like asking permission. Look, somebody's open. I have a message to share. Um, the fun, these are kind of the fun ones. So I was at I was at the NFR at Cowboy Christmas, and there are so many vendors in there. And I walk into this cute little boutique, and she has this darling little counter, her sales counter. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary, but I ran my hand across the top of it, and a gentleman comes in, and this gal is like busy helping all these other people. And I says, that counter is really, really sweet. I says, there's some great loving energy with that. And she starts crying. And I says, may I share? And she said, yes. And I says, there's a gentleman coming through, and he has the greatest love for you. And now that's kind of generic, right? But I touched the counter, and I connected with her, and I connected with the gentleman, and the love that they had. It was her father, and he made that counter for her. So, I mean, sometimes it's generic, but she's like, oh my gosh, is he okay? And I'm like, yes, he's okay. He's telling you that he's okay. And there was something, I can't remember, like something about a dog, a little dog or something. And she says, yes, that's my dog. So there was the validation that it was him, and it just wasn't a generic message. But when I work with people in their bodies, I sense the same thing. So let's go back to the energy and
Yes.
the
Sorry, I went on a
energy.
little tangent there. I don't know why. I just felt impressed to ask you to explain that. And I'm actually, as you're explaining, I'm realizing why I needed you to explain that, and I will talk to you offline about it.
Okay.
I have some questions,
Okay.
and not super I wouldn't say it's not appropriate for this show, but it's very personal, and I don't want to detract from what we need to talk about now, which is, how does energy healing work, and how does this work for releasing trauma? So let's go back. I do want to say though, real quick, before we wrap that up entirely, if anyone has questions about seeing spirits or feeling them or having the sense that their ancestors are with them, is there a good resource where they can learn more about them?
Pray. The best
Okay.
resource is our Heavenly Father, and getting that
Absolutely. Good
confirmation.
answer.
One of the questions, and I'm just going to touch on this for a moment. One of the questions you asked me, and I've thought a lot about this, was, now I can't even remember how you framed it, about how do I relate energy work and being a Christian?
Yes.
So
how are they connected?
How are they connected? Well, they are connected for me through our Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. I don't own that power as my own. I ask permission to be shown. I say a prayer for the person that I'm with, that I'm working with, if I'm doing energy healing. I studied under a grand lady. Her name is Julia Johnson. Many people may know her, but she had some amazing gifts and tools that was all hands-on. And I kind of miss the hands-on, and I've started going back to the hands-on because I can feel things on a deeper level. And I feel like the love of our Heavenly Father comes through me on a deeper level. Now, I cannot deny the scientific tools that I have and the power that they have in helping people heal quicker and have it last longer, because of science and how they've done an amazing job with creating tools to support our bodies and our chakra centers, our energy, with vibrational frequencies and energy that our cells just eat up and hold on to. And in your mind's eye, if you see those cells go together. But anyway, I'm going down that. But as a Christian, staying close to my Heavenly Father through prayer, going to where I connect with Him, whether that's church or I am, you and I have talked about going to the temple, and all of creating that connection on a deeper level for myself to be a facilitator of that love and that light that I have been shown that He used when He walked the earth among us as brothers and sisters. So back to the energy, when I'm working with someone's body, and remember when I said I could see the blues and the purples and stuff. So when I'm working with somebody, two ways: I'm very sightful, and I'm very feeling. And I also have a knowing. So if I'm looking at you and I'm looking at the color and I'm looking at those waves, remember the waves I talked about? I'm looking at that around the body in different areas, and what I see and what I feel is what I see is like a disturbance, whether it's a spike or whether it's an indent of that wavelength, or the color, like it might be missing in an area. So for instance, I mean,
does it work through Zoom? Like, can you see light around me right now?
I can, but this is the weird thing. This is why I'm kind of going, I don't know who is on the call or going to be able watching this, but what I'm sensing is somebody will be here who actually, so this color is a lighter blue, and there's someone that needs to know that this is not strong. So there's either something with the vocal cords on a physical level, or they're not speaking what needs to be spoken. And I can just see a hole there. And not only is it a hole, but when I sense, see, I can sense, even they're not here, but I can sense even with my hands that it's cold. So it's dark, it's cold, and that could mean that, see, did you hear my voice crack a little
I
bit
can
there?
see that you're being physically
Yeah.
you're having an interesting reaction
Yes.
to what,
Yes.
and this person's watching the show in the future.
Yes.
All right, viewer, whoever you are, listen up because this is for you. And hey, if you figure out that it's you, will you please just let me know? Because my curiosity is going to go crazy not knowing who
Mine
she's
too.
talking about right now. But this is amazing. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so if it just give me a second, just let me check in. So I'm getting a sense that there's about 5 generations on the father side. So like verbal abuse. And this person does not want to carry on that pattern. So instead of expressing the verbal abuse, they've closed that off. Wow. So, okay, so now how to fix that is, yeah, so that color, I mean, it is black, and that color is not shining through. So there's a couple of ways to fix that. So you can wear blue, you can imagine blue, you can see blue light going into there. Hold, please.
Oh, are we gonna get to see her wands?
Yes.
She's got these awesome light wands, you guys, that They're very scientific. If she has time, she'll go into the science behind it, but it's amazing how you can use light to heal the body. You've probably heard of like red light therapy and stuff
Yes.
like that. Like this is amazing. So
So this is called my chakra wand. There is a light diode, a light head for each chakra. So inside, when you look at the light, let's see if I can get that there. So there's the light, and it's clear. So it's called pure light. So when we turn it on, dang it, it just looks like a light. It
yeah.
actually has the color. Let's see if I can shine it. You probably can't see it. It looks red on the camera, does it?
Yeah, it looks purple.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not.
it's kind of going blue when you get into the like your the shadow of your hair, it looks blue.
Oh, there you go.
No, like when you shine it on
Oh,
your
right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can see right here.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, if that person will just put your like lean up to the camera so that I can
Like
just shine the
this?
light. Yes, like that. So imagine the light going counterclockwise, and we just allow all of the emotions, some of the emotions that could be tied to the throat chakra. Oopsies. Sorry. Like not having a voice, being quiet, misunderstood, not heard, not being able to listen, sorrow, choked up, regret, feeling of I can't breathe, grief, yearning. That is all on a blocked chakra. Now, there are other emotions on an overactive one. Of course, that's yelling. It's like the opposite, opinionated, critical, gossiping, talking over others, harsh words, self-righteousness, that type of a thing. So we can hold this light there and just breathe in the light. See that light going into the vocal cords? Holding those vocal cords still, um, can create trauma in there. I don't know if this person maybe was physically maybe choked, because they tried to stand up for themselves. I'm just like seeing pictures, and but now that they're an adult, I just want to say that it's safe to express. There's a way to do it through the light and the light of love. And sometimes that's hard to be able to speak through the filter of the light in a way that's loving. So we need to be loving to ourselves first. And when we're loving to ourselves, that means giving ourselves permission to speak. And maybe that is writing it down first. Maybe it's role playing with somebody who you feel safe with. But the shift on this one is I choose to speak. So with that, now I'm going to go clockwise to create balance. So, and we want to think of the balanced emotions as I am statements. We want to affirm them and declare them into our space, our energy. So I am optimistic. I am clear expression. I am confident. I am a great communicator. I am validated. I am diplomatic. I feel heard. I am safe speaking up. I am understood. I love speaking my truth. I speak kind words. I am cheerful and I am peaceful. So in that person, it just moved up into the forehead. So sensing just like a little fear, man, I'm just sensing some physical abuse with this person, and I feel that it's a woman.
Okay.
Just put that right on your forehead. Yeah, there it goes. It's dissipating now. And even if that person doesn't come on, the light travels. Our cells our cells are so accepting of the light that the light will be received by that person. That person is looking for the answers, to create a difference in their life, to create a difference, um, in their speaking ability. They are afraid to speak love, which is very, very heartbreaking to me, because we all want to be accepted and to be loved. And so start with ourselves first. Sometimes just, even massaging the throat helps, but that beautiful color blue is good. I wonder if it'll show up on paper. Nope. It is a very pretty blue. Let's see if the red will do it.
Crystal, this is
Yes.
beautiful. And my heart goes out to whoever this person is. You
Yes.
are loved. You are so loved. And our subconscious, I was just rereading my I have a workbook for the Body Keeps the Score. And I was reading through the cliff notes that they made of that. And our subconscious is so tricky. It likes us to think that we are stuck in that past trauma.
Yes.
And the work that Crystal's talking about is powerful. It can help you move out of those moments. If this person wants to get in touch with you, I will put a link to Crystal's information and stuff down in the show notes. So if you feel like she's talking to you, or even if you're not sure if she's talking to you, but what she said has resonated with you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Crystal is an angel. I can vouch for her 100%. I know she will work delicately with you and help you overcome that past. It's possible to find healing, and I love that she seeks the Savior's help with the healing and recognizes that it's him who's doing the healing. It's not the
Yeah.
wand, right? The wand is just a tool, just like when you go to the doctor and the doctor uses an antibiotic, right? It's not the doctor who healed you. It's not even
Right.
really the antibiotic. It's that God placed that in your life and helped you find the right tool that would do the healing. It's
Right.
very, very similar in that way. And
Well,
I mean,
it goes even a level deeper, if I can share a little bit more about the wand.
absolutely.
So the wand has a frequency of 432 hertz, which is the frequency of nature. And nature is very calming, very grounding, very present, very constant. And so when you use that frequency, when you're working with the body, the pure light, so the combination of the two things, the LED light diode in the frequency or the programming of the pure color of the chakra goes down many, many layers of skin. So the light goes down many layers. So you're getting to cells, even if it's kind of on a surface level. But our cells also flow through our blood system, through our blood veins and arteries and all of that. So it creates that vibrational frequency that harmonizes with nature, and our bodies like that. So what happens is the body relaxes, it increases circulation, and when we can relax and get out of that fight or flight and that stress mode, then our body does what it knows how to do. And our bodies are amazing healers. And so, when I picture when Jesus walked the earth, I picture him having this radiance of light around him that our bodies craved. Those people who were healed, um, they were open to being in the presence of that light and having faith and hope that his countenance and his presence would create the space for their body to heal. And people witness that time and time again in the scriptures. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I feel like that I'm very blessed to be a facilitator to bring that in, along with the scientific technology that can drive that deeper into our bodies to heal quicker and create that space quicker. And another fun thing is I have a really fun tool that measures like the energetic gases of our fingers. It takes the pictures of it and it puts it on a screen and shows where our chakras are out of balance. So that's really fun. So
That's awesome. Well, I didn't mean to like demean or anything,
no,
the
no, no, I
tool or
didn't
anything.
take it
It's
that
not
way.
all how I meant it. I just meant like
Yeah.
it's a tool. We use
Yes.
tools every day to help with things. It's not, this is just another amazing tool that works. And in my opinion, I think works. Whenever you can get into the subconscious and you can get into like the cellular level of something, you're going to
Yes.
find so much deeper and faster healing. And I don't know, I feel like that's been the theme of the last year and a half as I've been working on this project, is that the subconscious is where it's at. Talk therapy is awesome. It's great, but really at the end of the day, if we can't get our subconscious out of fight or flight and heal those triggers and those traumas and release those, you're going to be stuck cycling back over and over and over and over again. And unfortunately, talk therapy does that. It doesn't get to the root cause like so many of these other therapies, like energy work, where it can move that stuff up. Can we you it just made me think of something. Okay, again, going off on a little tangent here, but it kind of goes back to what we talked about at the beginning. And you brought this up. Like, I was talking to someone else who also does energy work, and she was talking about how sometimes we can carry inherited baggage, for lack of a better word, where
Right.
some of this like chakra stuck stuff might not even be ours from our own trauma, but might be 5 generations back, like you said, on this one person. How does that work? Like,
So it's interesting that you said
seriously, this
that because
boggles my mind.
well, it's interesting that you said that because I just had a little nudge saying that number one, this person doesn't want to speak up, but the message is please use your voice to speak up and say, yes, I resonate with that, because you're going to heal those past generations and the future generations. So this is very, very important. So,
You be the chain breaker. You are going to
yes,
break the cycle of abuse and let your kids and your posterity have
the
freedom
ability
and love
to
in their life. And they're
yes,
going to be so
blessed.
thankful to
Yeah.
you. I am a chain breaker for my family for past abuse. I've been told that from spirits on the other side many times. And it's not easy to be the chain breaker.
No.
But I have had help from another woman who's blessed with the very similar gifts as Crystal, to help me do that. And um, it has been miraculous to feel my family and see the healing come in their lives. And um, I just, oh, okay, let's let her explain how this works. Bonnie, stop talking.
So, um, you know how when, uh, so like, I mean, I don't like to speak the words because I don't like to project on something that's not. But when we have trapped emotions in our body, it can create a physical manifestation. It can create an imbalance or dis-ease in the body, right?
Body keeps
So
the
that,
score, what I was just talking about.
yep. And so um, when that happens, so I believe that, gosh, a high percentage, 95 to 99% of everything is emotionally related, whether it's generational or in our own presence.
And that's what she said. We were talking about, like, anyway, keep going.
But however, even if it is generational, it's in our presence. So it's our gift to deal with. And, or, I don't want to say curse or ball and
Burden.
chain or whatever, but it truly is our gift. You just stated, the prosperity of the love language that this person is going to pass on to future generations is going to be so amazing. That domino effect is going to be huge. So if we create a manifestation of blockage in our physical body, it imprints into our DNA. So 5 generations back, there was a trauma that happened that imprinted as a physical manifestation, whether it was cancer or, oh my goodness, it could be an accident. It could be, so many different things, it can be imprinted and in the DNA, and then that is carried down.
Oh.
Emotionally, energy is fluid. It's constantly moving. I have seen presence, energy, Christ-like energy present particles, and have asked and have been shown and felt a very strong yes that was Christ's energy imprint. So if we are sons and daughters of divine, then it makes sense in my mind. I don't know if that makes sense in your mind. I don't know if I have the words to
It
express
does.
it, Bonnie.
We are divine, right? And we were created by him spiritually, but we believe the light of Christ, but I believe that is literally a an element that is, there's a scripture that says it is in and through all things.
Mm-hmm.
And literally all things, nature, us, everything. It's all surrounding the atoms and stuff like that. There's Jake just bought me the book by Parley P. Pratt, where he explains this. I want to say the theology of science or something like that. Is that what it's called? I will figure it
I'm not
out and
familiar.
link to it down below when this show is over. But because we were talking about this very thing just a couple nights ago, and I was like, how does this work? Because I'm about to do a life coaching certification, and which I never thought I would do. Huh, surprise, everybody.
That's
Just let
exciting.
the beans spill. But I'm doing this one in particular because it's about connecting with that divine. It's about connecting with that light source. And the way she teaches, I've experienced it, and the way you do it, I have been amazed at how quick and how fast I am able to connect in with God, and how fast it's like prayer. It is, I don't want to say pure prayer, but I don't know how else to explain it. It's like he's standing right there and we're
Mm-hmm.
having a full-blown conversation, and the answers are coming like this
Yes.
instead of going right there. I think I'm hearing, am I getting an answer? Oh, hold on, let me tune my radio. I'm hearing static. Hold on. Let me get to the right frequency. Hold on. But instead, it's like, for somehow me and my ADHD brain cannot shut the heck up long enough to hear answers. But what this process does for me is it does that. It quiets my brain and quiets my body so that I can feel and hear. And
Right.
it's amazing. So I was like, I need to learn how to do this because this is incredible. I'm getting answers really fast and I'm healing things. And anyway, it's just been amazing. Where was I going with that? Oh, because we were talking about how we were trying to figure out how that worked. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it works because I'm divine. I have the light of Christ in me. So if
Yes.
I can tap into that light and tap into that connection and tap into that source, I can because it's in me, literally in me. If that makes any sense. Hopefully that made sense. I feel like some
It
people
makes
are gonna be
sense to
watching this
me.
and be like, you guys are loony tunes and need to go see a psychiatrist. Well, guess what? We see one. No. But anyway, I think it's amazing. So how does so when you are, I think I'm starting to wonder like how does that relate to your ancestors and healing? Like, is there a way to know if this is yours or if this is your ancestors, or does it really even matter? Does that make
It,
sense?
it doesn't matter. So I studied a process called Ho'oponopono, and some people will be familiar with that and some won't. But what Dr. Hewlin says is that if it is in your existence, it is yours to deal with. So when your friend calls you on the phone and says, "Oh, guess what? Blah 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 blah," guess what? It's now in your existence, and it's yours to deal with.
That's called taking responsibility.
Yes. So when something comes into our space, that's taking responsibility. That's 100% of the time, taking 100% of the responsibility, 100% of the time for whatever comes into our space. We don't get to project it or blame or throw it onto somebody else, regurgitate that crap everywhere else out there. We get to bring it in, embrace it, love it. It's part of us, whether it comes through a friend or our past lineage or past trauma, all of that. It's ours to deal with. And what an amazing world this would be if we all took ownership of what came into our life all the time, 100% of the time. Take that accountability, take that responsibility to be a steward over your own stuff. Yes, I'm triggered. Yes, I have hurt feelings. Yes, I'm sad. We don't turn around and blame it on somebody else. That's the easy thing to do. What really, I really think that when Jesus died for us and he felt everything, he took 100% responsibility of 100% of all of the stuff. And he processed it so that we could have the gift of everlasting life.
I can't even imagine the pain.
Right? Because we know the pain we've gone through, and sometimes it seems very unbearable.
And for him to do that when like all at one time for every single person who's ever
Yeah.
lived and whoever will live.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it's
And
miraculous, really.
and all I'm asking, or all I've been shown, all he asked me to do is to take that in this space 100% of the time, 100% responsibility and accountability.
And I like how you called it it's a gift. It's a gift to be able to process it and grow and learn from it. And then we get to bless our future generations.
Yes. Well, even our people that are in our space now, if I'm taking 100% responsibility and accountability for my triggers, my emotions, my past traumas, my lineage, I'm not going to project it onto my spouse or my kids. Does it happen? Heck yeah. I'm human. I'm on planet to learn, to grow. And so if I'm doing that for me, I'm not getting into a battle with somebody else because of my triggers and my old tapes, that it still happens. But the cool thing is that, so here's the other gift, is I get to ask for forgiveness. I get to forgive myself. I get to forgive them. I get to ask them to forgive me. And yeah, it's huge.
You said
It,
one
it
way.
truly is a gift when we stand in the light. And when we stand in the light, it goes clear down to that cellular level again, that little spark of light that's in the center of that cell that just starts growing and growing and growing. What happens with one cell happens with all of the others until we have this beautiful countenance around us that is pure love of Christ. It comes in and it constantly goes out. It comes in and it goes out. I don't believe in shields because that light is ours by divine right, by the gift that we're promised, that it goes through all things. And energy is fluid. It doesn't make sense to put a shield around. If I put a shield around me, can you get my love? Can you see my love?
No.
Can I receive your love? Can I see your love? No. But can I feel your love? So here's the cool thing. So with light, when we're working with light, see how dense that is? So when I'm in a space with people and I feel like I need protection, I bring the light in and I let it go out, but I bring it close to me. So, and it feels like a hug because it's love. It's the Christ light love. It's love, but when I feel safe, I can extend my light out further and further, and you can still see my light. It's not as dense because I don't need that protection. Does that make sense? Are you following me?
Mm-hmm.
So I can send my light out and I can mingle with your love light. I can mingle with others' love light. I can feel and sense that energy. And when I started practicing that instead of shielding, I started bringing the love light into my heart, expanding from my heart out of my body, and just surrounding me in this bubble of pure Christ-like love light. I could navigate around people and energies better, safer, more secure, more
So you
confident.
didn't like internalize their baggage. Oh
No, it
man.
can't, because it's coming in and it's going out. Always it's coming in. I have that direct source, that direct connection. It's coming in, going out. I don't. When I'm working with somebody, okay, so I worked with somebody who all of a sudden I don't know what it is with the throat chakras that's coming up lately, but it felt like there was a ball of yarn right here. And I started to just unravel that ball of yarn. And then all of a sudden, see, just talking about it, I can feel my throat doing the same thing. So I can feel it so that I know and I can feel, but then I just bring the light up to that and then my voice becomes clear again. So the light just comes in, goes down to my heart and expands from there. And I do Care Bear stares all day long.
I love it. Care Bear stares. You're so cute.
We have so many choices. And that's so one of the very basic premises on how I coach is stepping into awareness, because we can be unaware that we're unaware and we're just floating through life and being offended about everything. And then we start to shift. And in that shift, we become aware that we're unaware. Oh my gosh, I just did that. And that didn't feel good in my body. I just responded or reacted. And that is not who I want to be, type of thing. So Now we're going to shift and we're going to be aware that we're aware. Big shift. So then we make conscious decisions on how we want to respond. Maybe we don't respond. That's still a choice. So when we are interacting with people and we are aware that we are aware, it doesn't matter because the energy is there. It's something that we've recognized, we've become aware of. It's in our present state, it's in our energy, and we get to love it because we love ourselves, because we love our connection with divine, and we're just gonna move that energy through us because we're learning tools on how to do so.
Wow, that's awesome. One last question. And that is, how does someone go about recognizing that they might have stuck energy or chakras?
They feel like crap.
Oh, okay. Very simple and horrible all at the same time. Okay.
They have
So
pain in their body, they're slow moving, they're tired, they can sense the ones that I like working with is they know or have a knowing or a hope that there's something better, that it's not, they're not okay with status quo anymore. They've come to the point where the kids are almost grown. These are my favorite people to work with. The kids are almost, grown. They're going to be empty nesters soon. I work with all kinds of people. What I have isn't a fix all, but the people that resonate with me the most are those that, it's like, what's next? There has to be something more than this. My husband worked for a company for 37 years and they got bought out by another company. And just before they got bought out, there was a gentleman who had stepped in and was acting president at the time. And when the other company bought them out, he's like, I'm going to work 2 more years and then I'm going to retire and I'm going to enjoy my life. And it was like that thing that he was looking forward to. He got to that point and he retired and he died a week later. It's like people would say, what are you going to do? And he's like, I don't know. So instead of just being unaware that you're unaware, we want to work together in being very deliberate in what it is that we want to create. And what blocks are holding us back? Where are they sitting in our body? What emotions are tied to it? Does it belong to us? Is it somebody else's? Is it generational? Is it a spouse's? Is it a child? What is our purpose here? Why did we come here? What gifts do you have to bring into this world to really fulfill the plan? And we're not meant to do it alone. So where's your tribe? Find that tribe, find the people you resonate with and get on that train and just, the party bus, get in the Jeep. Let's go.
why do I feel like you have secretly infiltrated my computer and read the synopsis of a book I'm writing?
I don't know.
Okay, like this is seriously spooky. I'm having these private Bible studies right now with a group of women where we are fleshing out this book, and it's all about discovering your divine purpose by tapping into who you are. What is your divine nature and discovering
Maybe
your
I need to read the
talents
book.
and your
Maybe
spiritual
I
gifts.
just channeled
No,
it.
I think you're supposed to help me write it is what I'm getting. Holy cow. Like,
Nice.
come be a guest speaker and help us figure this out. Cause wow, like you just spoke. That was crazy. Sometimes doing this show, when I do these interviews, I think it's going to go one way and then it goes a completely different way. And I'm always just in awe of where it goes. And I just think, Heavenly Father, thanks for directing us today, because I can show you our text messages if you guys would like proof. This is not where what we were supposed to talk about tonight. But hopefully whoever is in need of that blue healing light will I mean, you don't have to tell me, but it'd be nice just to satisfy my curiosity. Um, but I hope that everyone who watched got something out of tonight. And thank you so much, Crystal, for sharing your amazing wisdom. We're going to have to do a part 2 and 2 and 3 and 4, because there's clearly so much more about this that we can all learn and understand. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm now dying to know, like, do you do more than just energy healing? It sounds like you do coaching too, right?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. Just coaching. Awesome. Real quickly, tell us what the coaching offers, and then I can put your links and stuff like that down below. A shameless plug for your business. I don't normally let everyone do that, but I'm letting you do it.
So my business is Awaken Your Hearts, and it's hearts plural. So there's 4 hearts, and I coach on those 4 hearts. So there's the physical heart, the spiritual heart, the emotional heart, and the chakra heart. And we have exercises that we do in each one of those hearts and try to really get down to, where those blocks are. And then we also use the lights. Of course, they're amazing. And anyway, I'm not going to do a shameless plug.
Even though I asked, you're totally allowed when they ask.
I know. It just wasn't the direction that we were going to go. It kind of threw me off. I'm sorry.
No,
I mean, I love
right.
coaching people and helping them find those blocks. And I love celebrating when they discover and break through those. And, that's one step closer to that happiness, that joy, that connection to the self, connection to spirit, connection to partners, children. It's fun. It's amazing. It's, so I have different packages.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, even though I made you uncomfortably do it.
I shouldn't have been. That's silly.
It's all right. It's cute. It just means that you're a very humble and nice person, that you don't like talking about yourself. It's very endearing. And you are a very kind and loving person. So, what do you think was our biggest takeaway from our interview tonight? If we could sum up our biggest takeaway.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground.
I know.
So I think probably the biggest thing is just finding out what awareness means to you, becoming aware. And when you become aware, you notice that there's an inconsistency in the way you want to live your life. So that means that something's blocked. And reaching out and finding help, whether you're searching for what does that mean, and that most everything is tied to our emotions, whether it's past emotions from an ancestor, a trauma that happened to us when we were younger. But the gift in that is that we become aware, we realize it, and then we get to deal with it. And it's a gift to our future generations that we come in contact with, that really is a blessing in our lives.
That's beautiful. I love that perspective so much. And I love you for joining us and for showing us an incredible example of what you do. Wow, my mind is blown. And thank you everyone for joining us. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Crystal or to me. Join our Facebook support group, where you can connect with us as well there. And you can find support for whatever trauma and stuff that you're dealing with, that you're trying to heal from. Everyone in our support group is on a healing journey, and we're all there to support each other and love on each other and be a place where we can be authentic and real and find friends. Sometimes that can be a little bit hard to connect when you've been through trauma. It's hard to be vulnerable, but this is a very safe and loving place. And hopefully you can feel that from us. So the links are down below. Thanks again for liking and sharing and spreading this video so that we can get these messages out to more people and help heal more hearts. Thanks again,
Yes.
everybody. Until next time, good night.
Good night.